Hey guys, before we get into today's episode, I want to share with you about something I am hugely excited to announce, and that is the upcoming launch of the newest and best group coaching program that has ever come out of Overcoming Graduation called Master Your Day. This program is going to be a 3-month group coaching program focused on helping you not just achieve your goals, but to create enjoyable days, moments, and experiences on the way to those goals. As I've spent the past few years studying, researching, reading about, watching videos about creating a dream life, I've realized it is not the creation of, this massive thing comes together and that one big goal and then life becomes good afterwards as a result. It is a conscious creation day to day, moment to moment. So some of the questions I started to ask were, how do we do that? How do we create a dream day? How do we create a dream life? And how do we start to build the habits and the routines in those days so that we can have consistency in saying, I know I'm working towards my goals, I'm connecting with the people that are important, I'm taking care of my body, and I am getting things done. This program is all about that. We're going to go deep into mindset, identities, and values, and how our identity shapes the way we show up in the world. Then we'll dive into goal setting, the most effective goal setting tips, tactics, tools, and strategies I have ever found to help you get clear on what you want and what your empowering why is. There are so many things that people will say about, set the right goal, it'll take you here. But if you don't have an empowering why underlying that, why are you doing this? Something you can check in with when things get really hard. That will be one of your biggest downfalls. It's something I've experienced. It's something I've seen. And when I have that why behind it, it changes the game. So that why discovery session is going to be one of the first and most important parts of this program. We're then going to go into habits because now we've got our why, we've got our values, we've got our goals, we've mapped out how we want to be pursuing these things, but how do we actually get rid of the bad habits and maintain the good ones? And not only maintain them, how do we implement new good ones? And how do we enhance them over time? Because the next section talks about efficiency and effectiveness. So now we've got our habits and routines. Now we've got our values. We're clear on our why, but how do we get better and better at doing the things that lift us up, make us most productive, and help us share our gift with the world? And the best part is you won't be doing this alone. You'll have me as the coach and guide leading you through this process, but you will also be surrounded by a group of incredible individuals who are doing the same work, who are working on the same things, and want to share that journey with you. They're going to support you. You're going to support them. You'll be connected. And the whole way through, we're going to make sure that you're taking steps toward your goals. You're dreaming bigger. You're acting bigger than you ever have. And you are demonstrating to yourself that the person that you have always wanted to be has been waiting there inside for you to unveil. That's what this program's about. I want to help you, and I want to get on a call with you to tell you more details to see if this program is the right fit for you. So if this program sounds like it's interesting, if this sounds like something you need and want in your life right now, I want you to contact me at brian@overcominggraduation.com. That's BRIAN at overcominggraduation.com. When you contact me, you can either send me a message on social media, you can shoot me an email and say, I'm in, I want to know more about Master Your Day. I will send you a link to set up a 30-minute video call with me. We'll talk through the program. We'll see if it's right for you. And if it is, we'll talk about everything you need to do to get on board and start transforming your life starting that first day. So remember, it starts July 17th, 2019. If you're interested, don't wait. Most people hesitate. Most people think too much. Most people go, maybe I could, or, we'll see, or, I don't know. Don't hesitate. Don't flip-flop. Don't waffle. This is the moment in the day. If this sounds right for you and this resonates with you, send me the message and we will get that call scheduled straight away so we can see if this program is right for you. Now, guys, I love you all. I'm so excited to share this episode with you today. So let's get into today's episode of the Overcoming Graduation podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Overcoming Graduation with Brian Drury, a show where I work to teach you everything I wished I'd known about habit and mindset to help you begin creating your dream life today. Today is another installment of The Morning Commute, where I take my ride to work in the morning to share a short but powerful message with you to help you kick your day off on the right foot. And today's message is this: human doing. When we look at our lives and we look at the way we're spending our day today, what is it actually feel like? Does it feel like life is happening for you? That you are actively engaged in it? Or does it feel like life is happening to you? Far too often, I think we find ourselves expecting incredible results, like 1% results when we're putting in 1% effort. God knows we've all been there. It's like, God, I wish I had the freedom of that entrepreneur, that I could travel, that I could do all these things, that I had enough money to have whatever experience I wanted and fly my parents to Hawaii and do this. And then we look at the effort that we're putting in, and it's like, kind of like barely any effort at all. We're doing the traditional or conventional things. We're doing the things that people around us are doing. We find ourselves complaining more than acting. We find ourselves getting caught up in procrastination and our excuses. We find our limiting beliefs running the conversation in our minds, and we're expecting to live a 1% reality when we're putting in 1% of the effort. I heard in a YouTube video recently, the guy said, we are not human beings, we're human doings. And I was like, huh. I like that. I like that little reframe. Because a lot of us are just being. And not in the wonderful mindfulness sense of it, like, oh, I'm being and I'm present. We're just existing. We're accepting our default reality and then using our insecurities and our limiting beliefs to hold us back. We all do it in our own ways. We all have our own creative ways of using our minds against us to try and stay in our comfort zone. And what I think is crazy about the human mind is that the comfort zone doesn't necessarily mean positive comfort. It just means familiar. When we actually look at what the comfort zone is, there's times where my comfort zone was being 30 plus pounds overweight. My comfort zone was drinking excessively. My comfort zone was every time I really wanted to go do something, or that I was home alone and I was like, now's the time I'm going to start working on that thing, to go seek out porn, to numb myself and distract myself. Deep down, that wasn't what I wanted. Deep down, that wasn't the reality that I wanted to create or the reality I wanted to live in. But I chose to accept that. I chose to say to myself, well, good enough. I chose to say, I want those bigger things, but I'm not willing to put in the effort. One of my new favorite quotes, and if you've been listening to the show, I'm sure you've heard me say it, is from Inky Johnson. And Inky Johnson says, don't ever let your expectations exceed your effort. And sometimes it can feel too hard to face the honest truth. It can feel like, I don't really want to take that look, Brian, because if I do, I'm going to see just how much I've been bullshitting myself. Well, good. Good. It's about fucking time. The awareness is one of the best parts. The awareness is one of the most important pieces, because it's almost as if you have something on your head and you keep going, man, my head's itchy and I can't seem to do anything about it. And someone goes, oh, do you know there's something sitting on your head there? Oh, thanks. And now you can reach up and do something about it. Not my best example. I'll give you that. I was like, as far as metaphors go, Brian, that was fairly weak. But you get the idea. It's the awareness. It's something that you're blind to. Now, so often we're waiting for someone else to come and call it out. For someone to say, oh, you got that piece of lint on your jacket. Let me just pull that off for you. Not only do we want them to call it out, we want them to take care of it for us. The much more important skill to develop that I've discovered, that I've learned from mentors, that I've read about in books, that I've heard about in podcasts, is the self-awareness, to be able to course correct ourselves, not wait for somebody else to do it for us, or to need someone else in order to be able to do it. It's that course correction of, you know, man, it's been a couple days since I've worked out. I really need to get back on that. You know what? I know I do want this donut, but I've had donuts 3 days in a row. It's about time that I settle back and get back on my positive eating. Self-awareness of, man, all I have been doing internally is criticizing myself nonstop. And it seems like even when I accomplish big things and when I work towards these massive goals and I achieve them, I still just criticize. It's that awareness that first triggers us to be able to go, oh, okay, there's something that I want to change. Then the other questions of, well, how do I change it? Well, that's what shows like this are for. That's what books are for, podcasts. That's why these things exist, is because one quote that I love is to focus on the what and the why, not the how and the when. So focus on the what and the why, not the how and the when, because we get really hung up on how and when. How am I going to make $1 million? When's it going to happen? How am I going to do it? When's it going to happen? When am I going to see the results? When am I going to do this? The what and the why are so much more important when you're starting and when you're continuing your efforts. Here's why. Because you might say, well, Brian, the how is critical. I agree. But a how that you stick to, let's say for a workout, a how that you'll stick to and do 5 minutes a day is better than the perfect how for P90X, of how you're going to get shredded abs doing an hour and a half every day if you'll only do it once every 2 weeks. Your what and your why. What is it you want to do? I want to get in better shape. Why? To have a six-pack. Okay. That might motivate you. This is not about judging your what and your why. This is about finding the what and the why that are meaningful and relevant and will, for you, and that will push you to take action that you've never taken before. Or be more consistent. Or love yourself more in the process. Because if you say, I want to get a six-pack, why? So that people will like me. That's a losing game, because I played that game. I've seen people play that game, and I've heard from really incredible mentors of mine why that game is a losing game. Because when we're seeking external validation for our goals and dreams, even if we achieve it, even if you got a 12-pack, and then you go out, and you're like, so, ladies, right? And they're like, meh. Then you don't feel like you've accomplished anything, even though you've achieved something wonderful. You've dedicated time, you've changed your diet and your exercise. You may have changed your routines. You've done a variety of things to make this thing a reality. But now, because the locus of control is external, it just seems like, meh. I spent a lot of times expecting my achievements to help me love myself. There was hope. There were certainly. I mean, the ego is always there, guys. There's always times where, wouldn't it be great if so and so said X, or like, I'd love to receive this validation. But there was also that piece of me that was like, you know what? If I do this, that's when I'll finally love myself. Like, that's when all this other self-doubt and this internal criticism, that's when it's going to disappear. And yet, even though I was being a human doing in many ways, I wasn't doing the work on loving myself, of taking care of myself, of appreciating the ride, of enjoying the moment, of loving the process. This is another Inky Johnson quote I love. I mean, he's one of my new favorites, is focus on the process, not the product. And as I've been doing my goal setting and starting to work on my goals for 2019, something I realized that is so critical. At the end of last year, this just clicked, and I was like, holy shit, why have I not done this before? You see, when it comes to being a human doing, it sounds funny, I like it. When it comes to being a human doing, a lot of people go, great, goal setting. Awesome. And I agree, goal setting is and can be a wonderful, powerful, great thing. But here's the deal. I got very good at setting and achieving goals. Over the past several years, that was basically my deal, was let me find a way to do it faster. Let me find a way to do it better. Let me find a way to get us there quicker. Let me find a way to do it bigger. You know, whatever the thing was, like faster, quicker, younger than you expect to do. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to crank it out. Great. And yet, there were lots of times where I just felt miserable. Lots of times I didn't feel like it at all. There were lots of times where I did not want to put out a podcast. I didn't feel in the mood. I didn't want to share a message that day, but I was like, but no, I'm going to do it. So resilience and mental toughness, sure. Self-love and enjoyment, nah, it wasn't a big part of the game. Now, in doing the episodes, yes. In doing interviews, yes. In coaching, yes. But then it was like editing the podcast, or something is down on my website and I need to work on the script so the script works correctly. And Do I need to reach out to customer service and get a piece of code that I need to put? Those things, the minutia, the details, the day-to-day, that was where I was struggling. I need to research new mics so I can figure out why my mic is having this and I want to get a new one. And that's the thing. That's all part of it. So now, this year, as I've been setting my goals, I said, rather than set my goals from, like, let's use the goal of I want to write a book. Because when I wrote my book, I had lots of ups and downs through the over 2-year process in writing, editing, and publishing it. Lots of people want to write a book. But here's the deal. Here's what most people do, and this is what I did, was I want to write a book. Cool. All right, let's set small daily commitments. Great. That's another really powerful tool. It's the book One Small Step Can Change Your Life by Dr. Robert Maurer. It's a game changer. It explains why setting small goals works, like ridiculously small goals, how you overcome your fight or flight response in your amygdala. It's powerful. But here's the deal. I set my small goals. I started cranking things out. And I didn't talk about what was the emotional state I wanted to be in while working through this. Now, let me tell you, when you start pursuing the things that you're truly passionate about, there is a ton of energy and momentum that comes from consistently working on what you love or what you believe in or what you think could be part of your reason for being here. It is incredible what happens. Like, I'd be writing, there's times I'd get lost in it, and I'd be immersed in the story, and then I'd be, oh my God, and what about this? Ooh, what if I work that in? Oh, I just learned that new message. How do I weave this in? There's beauty in that creation. But there would certainly be times when I did 9 full content edits of my book, there were certainly times where I'm just hammering my head against the wall. And instead of seeing it as, hey, this is part of the process, man, let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy refining this. Let's enjoy chiseling away the final little imperfections or blemishes or rough spots on that piece of marble. Let's really enjoy that. I just was like, gotta do it. 'Cause I gotta do it if I want to get this book out. I want to do it, but I got to. Very different ballgame. Very different conversation. Very different discussion. So, when it comes to the things that you want to do in your life, are you doing or are you just sitting there and being? Now, like I said, being in the mindfulness standard, taking moments to stop, pause, be with yourself, understand what it is you really want to do, and then make a plan. Awesome. But where is the doing? Are you expecting a 1% life and you're only putting in 1% effort? Or 10%? Or 13%? And when you look at how you're pursuing your goals, I think this is so critical, and it's something that I've never seen before. And in none of the programs that I've done, goal setting in both the entrepreneurship world and in the corporate setting, do they talk about the emotional state you want to be in. A lot of people, well, it doesn't matter because you're not always going to feel like it. True. But here's the difference. I want to write a book. Okay. Boom. Mind and body and heart, going to go to work on that, right? Cool. You want to write a book? That's the only goal. Yes. That's all that matters. Yes. Okay, sweet. All right, we're going to stay up all night. I'm going to drink like Monsters and Red Bulls nonstop so that we can get this thing done as quickly as possible. We can get this out. We'll finish that book. Oh, we'll forget about family and friends because it doesn't matter. They're not priorities here, right? So just the book. So we'll get the book done. And health, well, it doesn't matter, so we'll just get fast food so we can keep writing and stay at the desk as long as possible. Sunlight, fuck it. You can stay at your desk all day if we just order food in. Uber Eats is amazing. And it goes down the list. You see what I'm saying? Now, let's shift that to goal setting with the emotional state being considered. All right, I want to write a book, let's use and. I want to write a book, and while I'm writing the book, I want to feel grateful. I want to feel connected. I want to feel more in touch with my purpose than ever before. I want to feel energized naturally. I want to maintain healthy relationships with friends and family and continue to enhance them as I write them. I want to continue to live my life and feel joy about my life as I write this book, and I want this book to be an expression of that. Well, all of a sudden, your mind and body and your heart go, okay, All right, so you want to be rested? Well, hey, man, it's probably good to set a time to stop writing and maybe something to start in the morning. All right, you know what? Let's set up a morning and evening routine. And you want to be energized naturally? Okay, well, we're probably going to have to cut out some of the junk food we've been eating because that's definitely not going to help with us maintaining our energy levels. You want to have time for friends and family? You know what? We're really going to have to be diligent about scheduling time to write so that we schedule time for family and friends and for activities and for enriching our lives. Like, it completely changes the game. So, as you think about your goals, and if you want to shift from a human sitting or a human existing to a human doing, what is one step that you could take today to not just identify a goal and start working towards it, but identify how you want to feel in the process? Because what I have found is when I enjoy the process, when I enjoy the act of creation, not just the created result, the entire game changes. It becomes so much more fun, so much more exciting. You have so much more to share. And this is an example of it, guys. Like, I'm enjoying this so much more because I'm actively creating. I am actively doing in my life, and I am focused on the emotional states that I'm working to create for myself and for others. And that way I can share more. I love you guys. I want to thank you all for listening today. If you have not already, be sure to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play. And what's hilarious is right in that moment, even though I've said this 1,000 times, I was like, what the hell do I say at the end of my episodes? So if you'd like to reach out to me directly to talk about speaking engagements, to ask any questions about the show, to recommend interviewees for the show, I would love to hear from you and have you reach out to me at brian@overcominggraduation.com. I would love to answer your questions on the air. I'd love to talk with you, connect with you. I love it. You'd be amazed how few people take me up on this offer. But when they do, I'm going to pour into you in whatever ways I can. I'm going to give you whatever I can because I deeply care about you. And every single person listening to this show that consumes the content that I put out, guys, you matter. I'm not just saying this because it's a cute thing to say. I do this work because I want to help you shift your life in the ways that you want to so you can share your light and shine your light with the world. So please don't be afraid to reach out. I love you guys. Have a fantastic day. It's been great connecting with you this morning. And let's go kick some ass. Let's go have some fun. And let's go create the emotional state we want in our world today. I love you guys. Have a great one. And I'll be talking to you again real soon.